Let us read John chapter 3, verse 31 to 36. 민호야, 일로 와. All right, can we open the Bible? We'll read the Bible a lot today. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to preach long time, so do not worry about it. We will read the Bible. So I hope if you have phone, use your phone. Let's go to John chapter 3, 31 to 36. I know many times, many days of the week, we are living away from the Bible that we are given. But today and this week, may we really have the Word of God deep in us, deep inside of us. So let it not be just reading random thing, but I really pray this becomes our passage and our answer throughout the week. Let me read it first. He who comes from above is above all. He who is of the earth belongs to the earth and speaks in an earthly way. He who comes from heaven is above all. Whoever receives his testimony sets its seal to this, that God is true. Amen. That might be our prayer topic for the rest of the week, right? That we really believe God is true, that he gives us spirit without measure. All right, the Father loves the Son and has given all things into his hand. Yes, so we are actually set free from the wrath of God because of Son who's in us. And this is very blessing. I think many times this is what we don't understand. Spiritual problem. It's something everyone's going through, something everyone's suffering. Whether they intentionally or intentionally, this is what people are facing and this is what they're doing. You know, sometimes we're saying, oh, Daniel didn't quit alcohol or he didn't quit drugs because he loves to do it. Well, we can say that, but at the same time, why does he like to do drugs? Like, who deceived him falling into drugs? Or sometimes when someone's doing drugs, the one hope they have is to quit drugs. If you really meet someone who are drug addict, they want to quit. And they say the pain that they have when not doing drugs is worse than it's worse. It's something they can never imagine. So they're like, I have no choice. Spiritual problems. One of the Tarapang pastor met this guy who's not even 40, but who's really rich, who doesn't even need to work for the rest of his life because he's rich. And whenever this Tarapang pastor comes to do the Tarapang Bible study, he's serving him the best food and bring him to the luxurious hotel or whatever. One day, this guy came to the pastor, can I talk to you one-on-one? And he said, Pastor, I didn't tell this anybody, but I have this issue in my life. And you know, no wonder, we wonder what would it be because you have everything. And then what can be wrong with your life? Right? He's also the CEO of the broadcasting 방송국이 영어로 뭐지? Station, broadcasting station. He's also CEO of the one broadcasting station. So what could be wrong with him because he already accomplished it all? He said, Pastor, this one thought came into my mind. And pastor asked, what is it? And he said, I'm gonna die soon because of cancer. That came into his thought. And he says, I cannot take this off. And he doesn't want to go to hospital because he believes he has cancer. And he doesn't want to know that he has cancer. He doesn't want to confirm he has cancer. But at the same time, he can take this thought off out of his brain. So he's suffering a lot. Living in a good house, driving a good car, being at a high position, but always worried. I'm gonna die soon because of cancer. And this pastor told him, can you do these things with me 3 months, just for 3 months? I know you have, this is what you're going through is what we explain this as spiritual problem. But now instead of focusing, let's remove this thought. Or instead of focusing, resolving my issue of right now, can we shift our focus from my problem to Christ who has everything? And this guy said, I will do that. I will do it for 3 months. And for him to come to this pastor, meeting this pastor once a week, guess how long it takes for him to come to this pastor? 7 hours. 7 hours training. Train. 7 hours he gotta get on train and come to meet the pastor. And he told his work, I'll be off of the work from Monday to Wednesday. That's how much he suffered. You know, those who are suffering spiritual problem, they are very desperate. It's not that he's rich, that he can get off his work 3 days a week, that he can come. Well, that's how much he's desperate. So he wants to dedicate his life to the gospel. So what happened at the end? He became an elder. He's never died. He's still alive. And then he was able to bring the gospel to 30 more people in his work. And it became a church. We don't understand what people are going through. Spiritual problem is what people are. Have you ever experiencing this? One thought comes in, you can take this off. Another one, Monday, one of our church members called me. Pastor, this guy called me to come over to his house. Why? This guy started to self-harming himself. Monday night, when we're just focusing on studying, focusing on working out, focusing on game, when we're just doing whatever we want, we care about our own life, right? Not the one who's suffering next to me. When we're living like that, there are people really suffering. Spiritual problem. And he told me, Pastor, please pray for me. I'm coming to meet him. He went and he met. And that guy was self-harming himself and called our member saying, can you please come? Help me. I don't know what to do. So he went, he helped. And this guy, today, he's gone actually. We lost his connection. He doesn't answer text. He doesn't answer phone. He's gone. He disappeared. He had to pay the rent. But he didn't want to, maybe. We don't know why he's gone. He's gone. How do you look at that? Spiritual problems. Do you think he planned, all right, when it's my time to pay for the rent, I'm going to run away. Do you think he planned that? When he was self-harming himself? Spiritual problem. I'm not talking about every single person in the world are self-harming. But my question is, are we there as a bartizan for someone to come and ask help? Or are we just so busy? And one more thing. Now what if that guy disappearing, not paying you the rent? Right? He's using my room, he got to pay $500, and he disappeared. Now it's his spiritual problem, take a loss of my property, my money. Now, can you understand him or embrace him or wait for him because he had spiritual problems? Like I understand Michael, his spiritual problem up until he doesn't damage my life. But once he does something and damage my kid because of his spiritual problem, what if he killed my son? Can you understand? Can you still make Michael and have him look at him and smiling at him and saying, Michael, I'm so happy you're at the church? Or what do you think I'm going to do? If I see him one more time at the church after killing my son, what do you think I'm going to do? Spiritual problem. A pastor in Korea, his name is Son Yang-won, Pastor Son. And his son was killed by his friend when there was a Korean War. And this pastor knows his of course, he knows his son and his friend. And friend of his son killed his son. And he understood should be the spiritual problem. You know what he did? He adopted son's friend as his son. And his son, now this friend who killed his biological son became his son, and he became an elder in Korean church history. Power of the gospel. But when we look at the spiritual problem, it frustrates me first, makes me mad, or makes me maybe abandon my relationship. Spiritual problem that people are going through, they are desperate. They're really desperate. Today, this little kid at our church, he came to me. Can I tell you something? He never told me anything before. He said, can I tell? What is it? He brought me to the bathroom. You know what he said? Do you hear this voice? I heard it when nobody was here. He told me that. And I was with him in the bathroom, and I asked him, do you hear it? He said, I just heard it again. What did you hear? And I asked him, do you hear it again? Not right now. And I asked him, have you ever heard that before? Have you ever heard voices before? He said, yes. Spiritual problem. I know many of us, without any problem, your problem that you talk about is what? I want to go to college, better college, make more money. Well, people come to church are coming with desperate soul. Maybe it could be their last day, stay here. It might be their first day ever try to church. But my concern is, like in a bad word. In a bad word. Do we give? Yeah, Josiah, thank you. Do we give? No, but I don't know. Am I legalistic? I don't know. Before I was able to freely say all the cursing words. I think I'm becoming more mature. But do you give shit about that person? Do you know why they're here? Like, I know you have no problem, but do you know why they're sitting in the back, can't hear the message? Do you know why they come here today at the church? Do you know what bring them to church? Do you know? Do you care? Like, do you care? Like, are we complaining? Oh, today's meal, like whatever soup. I personally don't like that soup. So that day, I always go on a diet. Today, I went on a diet. But when we complain all this, do we care about how come Sang didn't come to church today? Right? Do we care about why Jagan is leaving church early today? Or do we care if Joan's not here? Do we care about him? Or do we just say, oh, he must be busy? Like, don't we just assume their spiritual state, not caring about them? Spiritual problem is real, guys. It's not fake. Problem people are desperate, they're going through is not fake. They're not just faking it. So I know many of you, one thing that really discouraged me yesterday at Remnant Day, man, you guys are really separated from other churches. I saw that. You guys don't sit with them, don't talk to them. I saw Oneness Church, Emmanuel Church kids together, hanging out together because they're minority in our church. You majority, I saw you guys ignoring them. Don't care about them. I'm sorry, I saw that. And I feel like that's not a good thing. That's your spiritual problem, man. Your selfish identity. That I am only the best. I don't care about anything, anyone. That's super selfish, man. Remnants. Sorry, I'm not here to. I have to. That's selfish, man. That's selfish. You don't act that way, man. Don't behave that way. Is that the gospel? Why are you living like another Pharisees, Jews? Why are you always saying, I have the gospel, but you don't care about people who don't have the gospel? Man, Don't do that, Michael. It was another minority white guy with your same hairstyle as you. I thought you hated him because you never talked to him. But I realized you don't even know who he is. And what make you hate him already? Daniel, man. F you, man. Guys, people do go through your life, Nathan's life. All right, to be honest with you guys, your life is easy. I know you're saying, oh, it's hard. Well, just look at your parents' financial status. They're not going through hardships right now. I don't know any of your parents going through hardship, like financially. At least they don't go through financially hardship financially. And your life, the worries that you thought about, like you have, man, that's such an easy life. It's really easy. Bless each other. We're given an easy life. Nathan, you're given such an easy life. I had a 다락방. I had 다락방 with this black community at this, like, you know, like I've told you guys. They're telling me, I got shot. And I'm like, oh, I went through, I was having a hard time because I dropped out of high school. And they're like, they all dropped out of high school. They all members of gang. My age, they're selling drugs and killing each other. And I'm like, oh, I was going through hardship because I wasn't able to go to maybe good college. They were like, none of us went to college. I'm not saying we got to go through what they're going through. But what I'm telling you is, you don't even know what to worry about for. Like, you're just struggling for, like, your own success. That also is a spiritual problem, guys. So Pastor Shin today says, you are slave of your own life, slave of others, you're slave of relationships. You're slave of all this, like, unnecessary things you need to worry about. We do have very unnecessary worries. And God has called differently, though. We're living a different life. We're called differently. Not to simply figure out your life. The Bible tells us it is finished. It is finished. Jesus with us, it is finished. Do you believe in that? Why are people going through all this spiritual problem? Pastor Shin gave us the word. Isaiah chapter 62, it says, thick darkness covered all people. When thick darkness covered all people, they don't know what they're going through is good or bad. Sometimes those people going through addiction, they believe their life is filled with joy. They believe drinking every day, every night, doing drugs and addicted to game is such a joy. Thick darkness cover their eyes, cover their hearts, cover their mind. They don't even know what they're doing is wrong. The guy who just ran away, disappeared without paying the rent, do you think he knows what he does? Or do you think he's so excited? Whoa, I was able to leave this house about a month without paying the rent. Yeah, do you think he's living that way? He's forever running away. Forever chased by people. Forever scared somebody might find him and judge him. Or somebody might sue him. Forever living that way. Sinners under spiritual problem, they are covered with thick darkness. The light on your phone, that cannot shine the light on that darkness. That's why your phone is not the answer. Your candle that you have to take away all the odor, it cannot take away the dirty things in your life that Satan brought to your life. No light in the world other than Jesus Christ can't take the darkness away. Our life is covered with thick darkness. Let's open John chapter 10:10. Let's open John chapter 10:10. And can we read the first sentence? Let's read it all together. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. This is what they are facing. Halloween, in a sense, have you ever thought this way? Trick and treat? Is it treat and trick? Trick or treat? You know what it is? Knocking the door, can you open? They're all wearing costume, monster, and they're asking, can you wide open your heart so that a monster like me can join you? It's openly acceptance of demons in your life, in your house. Of course, now that we're using that to bring the gospel message, but Halloween is an idol worship. You know who's supposed to knock the door asking you to open the door? That's what Jesus does. But who's taking the culture away from you, from us? Now Satan's doing this, resembling Jesus, acting like he's God. And he's asking everyone, open your house. Let me go into your house. Let me do whatever I want because you accepted me. And what does he do? Steal, kill, and destroy. I'm sorry, but I hate Halloween. It's not the right culture. Don't simply accept Halloween as it is. It's more than simply, it's a worshiping of your ancestors who's dead. It's worshiping of the demons. It's not the right thing. Good that we know. Now when they open the door, we give them the evangelism material. But other than what we do, everyone's saying, accepting me who's a monster. That's what Halloween is, guys. And that's what Satan does. Usually he doesn't knock the door of your heart. Thief does not knock the door. But now he masquerades himself as a good angel. And now when he's knocking the door, when you open, you're not even scared. You're accepting him. You're accepting a thief in your house. And you are expecting great things from your thief. And you desire to live with him forever your life. Satan makes culture into darkness. And he makes darkness as a culture for you to accept. I'm not sending my kids to school on Halloween. I hate that. One day he has to go, I'm going to bring him evangelism material. I'm going to have him Jesus everywhere, right? I'm going to do that. But right now, I'm not sending him. I hate Halloween. I usually don't hate anyone, anything. But Halloween, man, that's literally ancestor worship. You don't celebrate Halloween. If you want to, always carry evangelism material. You want to go party at the club for Halloween? Go with evangelism material. Asking God, Spirit, without the measure. So when I dance, your kingdom establish. So you throw papers of evangelism on the air. Then you may go to party. Other than that, not good, man. Open 2 Corinthians 4:4. Open 2 Corinthians 4:4. And let's, if you're on the, I'm sorry, I'm not hurrying. Okay, I think we're all on the page. And can we read in one voice? In their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbeliever to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. That's what Satan does. Through problems, he's disappearing the light of God, light of Christ, making you, shifting your focus towards problems, not to Christ. That's what Satan does. Remnants, can you really get rid of your thoughts? Are you really strong enough to control your thoughts and emotion? I know you cannot. We gotta accept when we see our spiritual problem, it is impossible for me to manage. We can. When Satan works, there's nothing we can do about. There's nothing. Think about it. I'm asking remnants. I've been asking. I'm so happy that we have now PJ10 to measure your spiritual state. When we're just reading the prayer journal, you guys are like, oh, it's hard to do every day. But you guys did it. Great. Now we're trying to listen to the message every day. How many of you are skipping? Can you get rid of your thought, I don't want to listen to the message? Can you get rid of that thought? You can. Let your thoughts controlling you. Satan's deceiving. Right? And this is how funny it is. As we grow, we mature. Right? We grow mentally. We supposed to be growing emotionally as well. We grow physically. But what I see at the church, as we grow, we become immature. More and more we become weak. That's so weird. As we grow everything, and that means so many things now fill my life. And now we're living in a state we don't ask spiritual power in our life anymore. We become more immature. When you're Emma cannot go against his dad, her dad, when she says, she doesn't say, I don't want to go to church. But when she become college, she has freedom, she will say, I'm not going to church. You become more immature. Now you get to do whatever you want to do more and more. And your spirituality is actually gone. And that's what Satan does. I really want you to know, Satan deceives you. I'm not able to listen to the message, or I cannot listen to the message. It's not simply I don't like pastor. It's not simply today's message is boring. It's not about that. It's really about you cannot listen to the message. That's a spiritual problem. When you cannot eat, are you going to complain the food sucks? Or what if you can eat even after the food gets better? That means you have problem. Right? So instead of complaining about message long and whatever, now let us look at ourselves. Am I really in the state of it is finished? Or am I so caught up with so many things? Spiritual problem. Last week, I think I gave prayer journal to one of the remnant. Hey, write the message down here. Guess where I found the prayer journal? At the gym. He threw away. So glad he's exposed. Right? You guys are exposed, remnant, high school kids. You guys are exposed. You cannot listen to the message. Don't lie to me. Your spiritual state is good. You cannot listen to the message. You cannot pray. You don't have a desire to share the gospel to anybody around you. That's where you are. Why are we living that way? Continuously, even after being at the church more. You're at the church more than, if you do the same thing more than 10 years, if you're a normal person, you're supposed to be professional about that. If you're playing Minecraft for 10 years and you still suck, you're bad. Something's wrong with you. Look at our lives. We live spiritual life for more than 10 years, 20 years now, and we're not doing great here. That means something's wrong with me. I think healing starts from you realize where you are. But many times, I'm sorry, high school kids, you guys are lying to yourself. At least I'm doing great. No, you're not doing great. Who's lying to you you're doing great? You're not. You got to accept one thing. Am I doing great? I'm not. I'm not doing the best. You know what I have? I'm filled with a spiritual problem. Maybe worse than yours. That's how much I need Christ. Remnants, we need Christ. We really need Christ. When Satan deceives, this is what it says. No one is righteous. Everyone's a sinner. Everyone, again, is piece of shit. Everyone. 23. For all have fallen short of the glory of God. You're all condemned. You're all cursed. Now because of sin, you're all facing death. The death of your spirit, death of your your emotion, death of your mental state, death of your physical body as well. That's the result of the consequence of sin. And that's what Satan brings to you. He makes your spirit die. Open 2 Timothy chapter 3, 1 to 5. Let's open 2 Timothy chapter 3, 1 to 5. Are we on the page? Mino? Can you look at it with Sam? Sam, can you share it with him? Thank you. Benji? Okay. Christy is having a trouble. All right. I'll read verse 1, and you may read. Let's read responsibly. Responsible reading. But understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty. Who do you see? Do you see Juan? That if you see Juan, you suck. You know who you're supposed to see? You gotta see you in here. Right? I see myself here as well. 3, heartless. Yes, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good. And verse 5, let's read together. Having the appearance of godliness, but denying its power. Avoid such people. God says, avoid those who are living like this. Why is he saying that? Instead of saying, save them. Why did he say avoiding them? Because when we're surrounded by these people, we become one of them. So you may be filled with the Holy Spirit so that you can save them later. Many times we judge them and we live like them. That's how we live. That's how we, I forgot the word, Korean and English. But I have this compromise. We judge them and we compromise ourselves. Oh, he has done it, so let me do it. We do that a lot. Open Matthew chapter 24. 1 to 14. Matthew 24, 1 to 14. And we'll read 3 to 14. Let me read it first. As he sat on the mountain of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when will these things be, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of this age? See that no one leads to astray. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. Have we ever heard this kind of news recently? Right? And then verse 6. Or do we hear wars recently, like these days, like really, like wars is going on, right? And Korea, South Korea, North Korea is actually in the edge of the war. Yeah. If we start war, no one's doubting why. No one's questioning why did they do that. We're at the edge. They can start anytime. All right. For nation will rise against nation. Can we understand that? Looking at our situation nowadays. And kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes. Right? Do we see that? Do we just say it's a climate change because we drive a gas car? No, not just resonating that way. Let's look at according to the biblical way. And earthquakes in various places. And it's only the beginning. Wow. It's only the beginning. It's not the just end. It's beginning. And then they will deliver you up to tribulation and put you to death. Why? Because you're Christian. Right? We're now all the ideologies are going against Christianity, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. But I wonder if we're going to be hated, right? Are we going to be hated? Do you think we're going to be hated? I wonder, because many of us are so fake. Man, we'll be hated, okay? No matter how much I say you're fake, you're real. Don't believe him like human of Pastor Yohan. Okay. Can you read verse 10? Yeah, this will really happen. Now that this is actually among the Christians, they will betray each other and hate one another. That will happen among Christians. The funny thing is we're all persecuted by all the nations around us, and we hate each other. That's so sad, right? If everyone's hating you, at least you got to protect Crystal. Right? You got to protect Crystal. But now you're saying Crystal is taller than me, I hate her. We do that. Satan does that. Right? At least we shouldn't go against each other. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And yeah, can you understand that? Lawless. They know the law. They know how to avoid the law better than us. And 13, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. And 14 is the conclusion of the end of this age, end of this earth. Can we read 14? And this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations. And then, yes, so do not be scared of anything happening, because that's not the end of the age. The end of the age only happens when the gospel of the kingdom of God proclaimed everywhere. So your life, even when you're going through hardships and difficulties, that you're going through struggles like relationship problems, you're like, this is the end of my work, this is the end of my maybe profession, end of all my life. No, your life will never end until the gospel is proclaimed. So never lose the hope, because gospel will be preached through you to all nations. That's what we believe. And number two, this is really hitting my heart on Friday worship. The heirs of the evangelism movement. Amen. What a title we can ever be given. You are the heir of the evangelism movement. Aren't you guys so proud of you? That we are the heir of the evangelism movement. Amen. I only hear it from this side. You immature guys. Amen. You are the heirs of the evangelism. How proud are you? And he's asking, in any situation, in any circumstances, one question, the only question, who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am? And what did he teach us? What did we accept in our hearts? We accepted Jesus is the Christ, and you are the Son of the living God, who do you say that who He is in your difficulties, in your struggles, in your relationship? Who do you say that He is when you're going through your own spiritual problems? When you can take off your thoughts, can you make all that problem alarm you and directing you to confess Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God? Whenever things bothering you, can we say Jesus is the Christ, the Son? Do not focus on solving the problems, but can we make the problem directing me to Jesus is the Christ, the long-standing spiritual problem we could not get over, we could not overcome? Can we confess Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God? What did you confess when you heard the news? This guy shoot people and killed 22 people at Maine. What alarmed you that day? What if that happened in our church on Sunday? A guy came in at the church. So church is the best place to have mess. Yes. Because when a new person comes to church, we don't reject. So if you're smart, murder, church is the best place to come and kill openly. But how come that doesn't happen? God protects us. Only because He protects us. A white guy coming to our church, do you think any one of you will reject him? We'll be more surprised. Wow, non-Korean. Finally the day he will receive the gospel. And he came in, Pastor Shin's giving the 예수는 그리스도, and shoot him. And then boom, 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 boom. We all go to heaven that day. You know why they can't do that at church? God protects church. When things happen to you, it could be very personal, yet whether that's personal, I know many times we want God to understand me, but why do you think He allowed you that? It's not out of His plan. Nothing can be out of His plan. Even the evil acts of others against you cannot be out of God's plan. What is He telling you? On the heirs of the evangelists, may you confess Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. This is our confession. We are not shaken of what we believe. And maybe we're shaking every day. So God is reminding us unshakable fact and truth that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. And we know He's the answer to all. What we're going through is not because we're weak. What we're going through as a child of God is a reminder of us enjoying the gospel. He wants you to change, but more than He wants you to change, this is what He does. He is changing you. So don't we believe? I love this song. James loved this song, I'm sure. He's changing me. And then yesterday I saw Piri dancing. He's changing me. No, not that song. What song did we sing? Morning dancing. Morning to dance. No, 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 no. Whatever. I'm not good at dancing. Jesus is the Christ, the answer to all. It's more than you need to change. He is changing us because He called us as the heir of the evangelism movement. Our spiritual problem will decrease, Christ will increase. Christ will triumph, and this is what we will enjoy. Enjoy what is only. What is only to us is triune God. What's more than this blessing? God is with me. What's more than this blessing? Christ, who finished it all, is with me. What's more than this blessing? The Spirit, who's everywhere, all powerful, indwells in me. What is more than this blessing? We enjoy 3. And we enjoy the uniqueness. Why is this unique? Because this is from above, not from the earth. And the 9 blessings, 9 powers. We enjoy what God wants to restore, the image of God, the blessing of God, the breath of God, the life of God. Enjoy the blessing, the power from the throne. Enjoy the blessing, power that transcends time and space, the light to shine 237. May you really become unprecedented. You may know you are unprecedented. You cannot be compared. You are very unique. You are very special. You are VIP to God. You are the heir of the evangelism movement. He knows everything of us. He knows what we're going through. He still chose us to become the heir of the evangelism movement. That cannot be mistake. That was his choice. That was his blessing. And he has pouring us all this blessing. 393. Remnants. High schoolers. Do you guys memorize this? Don't worry. Today in your forum group, you guys will share this. Blessing of recreation. What does it mean? We will change our past, present, and future in Christ. Your past stays forever the way it is. What does it mean that we can recreate? Because when Christ comes into us, everything becomes only the platform for us to come near to Christ, enjoy Christ. That's when we can forgive someone. Oh, because of Benji, I come to realize Christ. Because of this person, I come to realize Christ. Because of Josiah, I come to realize Christ. Because of David, I come to realize Christ. Because of my parents, I come to realize Christ. Because of my disease, I come to realize Christ. Because of my spiritual problem, something that is uncontrollable, I come to realize Christ. We can give thanksgiving. Enjoy. Today, the Bible, John chapter 3, it says God gives everything to his Son in his hands. God gives all to his Son, and that Christ is with us. We may enjoy that Christ is with us, and he's with me, with us. Us includes everything of what you possess, everything that is related to you. And he's with everything. That even includes unbelievers. What does it mean? When he's with me, we enjoy the gospel. When he's with us, with everything, you may not complain, but may you embrace, transcend, and overcome everything that is related to you. And because he's with everything and everyone, when we go into the work or school, we go there to enjoy evangelism taking place in our lives. So for this, let us pray. Yes. Lord, no longer I want to be distanced from your desire. No longer we are paying. How much are we paying for RCA? I think if you're just participating in RCA itself, $350. And you're participating leaders, $470. Right? And you have families, David, your family paid, I'm sure, $2,000. Why are we paying all this money? For what? Let's not go there because it's another retreat. Let's go there as an heir of the evangelism movement. Not just participating because my parents are paying for me, but because this is for us to turn into the heir for the evangelism movement. Don't waste your $500. If $500 is easy money, how many of you here is $500 easy money for you? Me. It's easy money. $1,500 for my kids as well. It was easy money, right? Although it's easy money, let's not go there to waste money. If you consider money is important, I know most of you consider money is important. Why would you waste that much of money just going there and complaining? Go there with your heart, with your prayer. Go there with your desire to become an heir of the evangelism movement. Go there as a witness of Jesus Christ. Go there to save one more soul. And this is our culture for Darapang movement. Thanksgiving, we do nothing but focusing on spiritual training. This is our focus. So when you grow up with your kids, please continue remnant movement with the next generation. Instead of saying, oh, we have family plan. Oh, we already planned this a year ago. Well, when you married 10 years ago, I will tell you, oh, we've done this for the last 30 years. It was always on the Thanksgiving. No excuse. Continue as an heir of the evangelism movement. And we'll have time of prayer and we will sing. As we sing and praise and pray, let's give our hearts to praise. Let's give our souls. Let's give our prayer topic. Let's stand before God as who we are, and let us sing. Jesus is my way, and He is my truth. Jesus is the life in me. Since I met the Lord, asked Him in my heart, my life's never been the same. When I am in Him and He is in me, He will answer all my prayers. What I have is something that the world can offer. What I have in Jesus is true peace in this life Jesus is my way. Jesus is my way, and He is my truth. Jesus is alive in me. Since I met the Lord, as Him in my heart, my life's never been the same. When I am in Him and He is in me, He will answer all my prayers. What I have is that the world cannot offer. What I have in Jesus is true peace. In this life I live for Jesus Christ. With His covenant rooted in my word, the Lord give us the Spirit without the measure. Share in this life I live for Jesus Christ. This life I live for Jesus Christ. With His covenant rooted in my when the Lord gives me His power, He will use my life to share His gospel to the world. And as the Spirit of the Lord fills my heart, mind, and soul, I live for Christ alone, so that this gospel can be made known. Pressing on for God's kingdom and goal. Oh, my heavenly end, and the Spirit of the Lord fills my heart, mind, and soul. I live for Christ alone, so that this gospel can be made known. Pressing on for God's kingdom and goal. Oh, my heavenly prize. I'll go on today, I'll live on each day, always in front of God. And as the Spirit of the Lord fills my heart, mind, and soul, I live for Christ alone, so that this gospel can be made known. Pressing on for God's kingdom below. How my heavenly prize. I'm going today, I live on each day, always in front of God. I'll go on today, I'll live on each day, always in front of God. Be still, there is a healing. His love is deeper than the sea. His mercy, it is unfailing.
trouble may rage on, and things may be going wrong. Never forget you are in the ship where the captain God is strong. Words of deceptions call on. Temptations are all around. Conquer them as you listen to the gentle voice of God. God sees the world and sighs with grief. His heart breaks inside. Where are the ones with the true gospel? Not one God's Holy Spirit will be with you forever in all you do.
Let us all pray. Now the grace of Jesus Christ and the love of our Father God and indwelling guidance and working of the Holy Spirit be upon all the remnants who are the heir of the evangelist movement. Be upon them now and forever. Amen.